Hey guys, so as you know, the Korbanth Master Qui-Gon and Apprentice Obi-Wan set had come in for me yesterday. And I want to do a comparison of the Obi-Wan from KR versus the one I purchased from Korbanth that was made by Parks several years ago. And the difference you'll see a slight difference. I've modded this OWK from a while back, just this year alone, if you notice. Just this year alone, I polished down the chrome. I didn't enjoy the chrome finish that was on this saber, so I decided to dull it down, take the chrome off, bring up the actual. I'm guessing this is aluminum, maybe steel. I think it's aluminum, but I wanted to bring it up, show the actual aluminum, make it look more like a worn out saber, because the finish that I got from China just wasn't that great on this saber. Also, the button on this saber was known to be less than ideal the way it was set up, and I had on hand one of these DM1 buttons from I think it's prior to 2017. They were using these buttons. Not the best solution. Very expensive. I think you can still get these from Parks directly. They're like $30 buttons. Don't really recommend it now that this guy's out. And that for a host of reasons. You can see here's the old school emitter. That was the Parks solution. And there is the not so Parks, the more screen accurate emitter. Let's see if I can get some light over here. Okay. You can see it has that washer look. I think it was a washer that was fused to a bit of a steel rod. And then here, just a blade plug. And this was your blade emitter right here. I think this is set up for 7/8. This guy is able to do a 1-inch blade. I know because I put a 1-inch blade yesterday in it. When you take the blade plug, this whole flat surface is exposed, and it kind of looks reminiscent to something like this, right? Whereas if I push down on this, no, I can't do it. It's in there firm. Other thing was, if you wanted to put, I'm gonna just take this button out for a while. If you wanted a, what are those things called? Jesus. Retention screw. There we go. Senior moment. If you wanted a retention screw, you'd have to tap and drill yourself on the Korbanth one. So this one over here, let's see if we can bring that up into the light. Yeah, retention screw's already been tapped, and there's a retention screw already in there, and it looks great. Flat LEDs were placed on here, whereas these are silicone, and they come with ones that bulge out, I guess that are convex, as opposed to ones that has a flat surface. So you have a choice between rounded or flat. And Cal also had hard plastic that was given to him, that he gave to us, which is basically less than ideal for removal, I guess. And if you need to take this apart, you're going to need to pop out the silicone. So I don't recommend gluing it. They're in there pretty good. They don't feel like they're going to fall out. Friction can be its own thing. He gives you an extra set of 3, but again, one set of 3 is flat, the other set are convex. Yeah. Also, same thing, the little purple jewel, that's silicone here. And this saber, unlike this one, where you had to mod the Hemi here so that it would, or the Presta valve replica, I think is what it is supposed to be. People would unscrew these sons of bitches. Let me see if I can take this out. And there was a way where you could drill through these guys right down the bit. And somebody was selling like a 3D printed adapter of some sort. It definitely didn't seem like the best solution because I don't have a press to actually drill through a screw like this. So I guess if someone was good at it, they could. These guys are, once you take the sheath off, it looks kind of like a seesaw that's underneath. It's just this metal bit that'll hold two retention screws, because that's what's getting onto these guys, is like these buttons have their own threads and they thread on to a retention bit, and you just size them up according to the way Cal showed on his webpage how to actually it was his YouTube channel, I think. Yeah, so he shows you how to assemble this this saber, and there is some assembly with this guy. Wasn't hard, but when you get down there, you'll see that it's kind of like on a seesaw, kind of like a rocker, and it rocks back and forth. So when I tap one, the other moves slightly. Which, when you get the buttons mounted underneath that seesaw, which I have not done, the buttons are still in the box over here. What will happen, I hope, is that when you push down on both, you could get, if you're going to set it up for Profi or Crystal Focus X, Crystal Focus 10, rather, that you can use other button functionality. So I'm pretty sure you can do that. Now, when you get down here to the grips, the way this guy broke down was that there were 3 levels to the saber. So you have the outer sheath, same with this one. There's this steel sheath. Then you have the black tubing, which is the same on both sabers. And what a lot of folks did on the Korbanth was that they would cut out the black steel, the black portion here, and they would cut into the actual underlaid here. I don't know if I'm using proper terms, but the metal tube that goes underneath, so you get this contrast between levels. So it's like bare aluminum down here, the black painted aluminum, and then the outer layer. So that's when people were modding these, they would cut into these 2 layers right here, so that when you spun it, you had a crystal reveal. With this one, there's already an opening inside, so if I were to take off the cover tech here or loosen it, this should spin freely, and you'll be able to see that there's an exposed area. So it should make chassis designing that much better. I'm hoping someone designs something for a removable battery. If it can happen, I really would love that. This saber is something I've been waiting for a long time. I was very disappointed when I got this one, that it was basically a Kramfu saber with horrible sound. If I'm not memory serves correctly, you can only get about a 20 millimeter bass speaker in here, and it's not bass heavy at all. Pommel's vented, but not vented in the way you would want. So you could see here. Let's see if I come on. Holding this with just like my fingers so I get good light. There we go. Cell phone video. There's a flat at the tip of it. It's flat here. I don't know why they did that. And there's ventilation all around. So the speaker usually would be mounted right about here, and then there was like this echo chamber, and I'm guessing they were hoping for resonance to throw through. I saw a few people with speakers inside the pommel, but it was hardly ever the case. Sometimes the speakers were located up here, and people would trim into the last layer and give some ventilation in the grip. Some people would just trim off most of this here, and or all of the silver lining here, and they would just put a speaker right here. With this saber, flipping that around. If I remember in the video correctly, this is supposed to fit a 28 millimeter speaker. Should have the space for it. It's fully spherical at the bottom, no flatness, no ventilation that you can see. The ventilation is coming from inside the pommel cubes. So there's spaces between the pommel cubes. That's where your sounds coming from. So this was well thought out. Well thought out. And again, this should be more chrome, but I toned it down just because I'm like, I wasn't happy with this saber. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to make this a belt hanger, I'm going to make it like one of the stunt versions. And let's see if this focuses up. And that being said, I do have the stunt OWK. Just bear with me. This. So there is the stunt next to the Big Daddy. Now this is a through and through. This is a 1-inch diameter design. So it takes in a 1-inch blade. It's 1 inch all the way through, from what I've understood about this about the stunt. This guy's half the price. Pretty good grip. I do have the inserts that go in here. I just didn't feel like doing that yet. They both feel really great in the hand. I really enjoy the design of both sabers. This one's a little bit easier to grasp as opposed to this one. But, this is made by One Replicas. I don't know if Cal was involved with this, but this was, from what I understand, KR and One Replicas came together to make this guy right here. Sold out within 10 minutes, and I'm lucky enough to be able to have one of these things. It is awesome. I really hope Cal does another run, and I hope he has the Attack of the Clone version this time. Again, TPM. I'm in love with the saber. I can't say enough of it. It's really awesome. There's the 3 of them right there. This one I may be letting go, just to make space. Full disclosure, you can get these for like $120 or something like that off of eBay. I don't know the condition that they're going to be in, because apparently Parks' reputation is so bad that, apparently the sabers that he's giving off on eBay are already glued up and they're basically static. So this one can be converted to install ready. I'm debating if I want to include this button because, again, it's from a DM1 and I want to install on that DM1 one day, maybe. But it's an expensive button and they're hard to find, and I kind of want to keep it for the saber I intended it for. But that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.